and Services Administration's Office of Regional Operations here in Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm really excited to be moderating and kicking off this next session, which focuses on that community level of the socio-ecological map that we've been looking at these last couple of days. So I want to set the stage for this session. It's a little bit different than what we've seen in the last couple of days. So we're going to focus on two communities here in our region. The first community that we'll be focusing on is Wyandotte County, Kansas. Then we'll take a really quick 5-minute physical activity break, get up, stretch our bodies, and get ready for our next community that we'll be talking about, and that is Omaha, Nebraska. And after we hear from our friends in Omaha, we'll finish with a Q&A panel discussion where we will be asking some questions of our speakers and give you all an opportunity to ask your questions of our friends in Wyandotte County and Omaha, Nebraska. So with that, I'm going to kick it off to Wyandotte County and introduce our first speaker on that in this session, Wesley McKain. He is with Healthy Communities Wyandotte. So please give me, stand up with me in that active applause and help me welcome Wesley. It's just this one right here.
And don't touch that one.
Not the green.
Okay. Thank you, Ray. Hello, everyone. My name is Wesley McKain. I work at the Wyandotte County Health Department. It's called the Unified Government Health Department because our city and county are unified. We're one of 31 communities in the country that do that, along with, I think, Nashville is like that, Denver as well. So I work at the Unified Government Health Department. I'm kind of the appetizer for the presentations. My part is very small. I'm just introducing the projects that are going on that my friends are helping to lead. And I'm very excited about, I like this work a lot. I like working on health in Wyandotte County. I like Wyandotte County too. It's a really cool place. It's a very diverse community. That's the thing everybody says about Wyandotte County, and it's absolutely true. It's just a very diverse community. All right, and I'll go ahead and, do I have to point this at something? There we go. Okay, so about 165,000 people. One of the reasons we unified is because, so you can see it, we're actually for those of you who aren't from the area, we're like, I don't know, as the crow flies, maybe 3 miles from Wyandotte County, 2 miles, maybe even less than that. We're very close to Wyandotte County here. We're in Jackson County. It's the smallest county in Kansas, geographically, and I think maybe the 4th most populous or 3rd most populous. 165,000 people. Most of it is Kansas City, Kansas. It was originally, this is a very sad thing for me as a resident of Kansas City, Kansas, but apparently it was originally named Kansas City, Kansas to trick people into coming there in like 18 something, because Kansas City, Missouri has always been the larger city, and the originators of the city who wanted to start it and name it were like, well, if we name it Kansas City, Kansas, it'll trick people and they'll come and stay here instead of Kansas City, Missouri. I read that. I know it's sad. Rick, I know it's a sad fact, but I think it's true. Yes, that is true. 41% white, 29% Latino, 23% black, and 5% Asian. Primarily Southeast Asian. I think primarily Burmese and Hmong are two of the big kind of subcultures. The Latino population has grown immensely. That number, every time I see it, is up a percentage point or two. It has super rich history. I mean, one really cool and unique thing about Wyandotte County is I won't say when the Latino communities and the African American communities in the county were sort of founded, because I don't know, but I do know they go back way far. Which is a unique thing about our county in this region of the country. The Quindaro part of our community was one of, I think, maybe the first free towns for African Americans that were fleeing slavery, founded in like 1850 or something like that. And that part of our community in the Northeast has a huge, rich, and proud history. I know that there's a part of our city called Argentine, which a lot of people from Latin America, I think Mexico, came in like 1890s to work in the steel plants, and I think even some silver plants that were in that area as well. And so it's just like these, like, when I say it's a diverse county, it's like unique in that there's 3 very large demographic groups: African American, Latino, and white, and they are all like have been there for a long time. And so it's like they're all kind of like, I mean, they're not indigenous because the indigenous people are indigenous, but as far as like the history of it, those 3 groups have been living there for a very long time and interacting for a very long time. So just short history, white flight in 1960s and 70s, not unique to Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas, although see that line in between Wyandotte and Johnson County? A lot of the people in the 70s moved across that line, and that line is still to this day a very strong marker of health outcomes in our communities. Johnson County, one of the wealthiest and healthiest in Kansas. Wyandotte, one of the least wealthy and least healthy in Kansas. Another thing that hit our county hard, our county has always had a very blue-collar economy, and deindustrialization hit the county very hard in the 70s and 80s as jobs were moving overseas, manufacturing has changed a lot. So a couple things kind of like in concert were very challenging for our county. Median household income, you can see, is about $13,000 less than the state. So that's just kind of a little overview. Short history, one of my jobs at the health department is to help run Healthy Communities Wyandotte, which is a health coalition. I won't go super long into it, although something unique, I guess a couple unique things about it is that it was kind of started by our mayor, Mayor Joe Reardon, who's now the chamber president of Greater Kansas City. And it was started because the county health rankings came out for the first time. So they were first released actually in Kansas. It's weird, released in Kansas in 2009, but then released nationally in 2010 for the first time. And our mayor pulled a bunch of people together and stated the government address, kind of challenged the city to do something about this, which took a lot of leadership and got the Kansas Health Institute involved. And then the reason I'm an employee of the health department is because Joe Connor at the time was there as well and said, oh, well, we need some staff to run this health coalition, so we can house them at the health department. So, we work on the, physical activity, nutrition, tobacco. We also have teams work on infant mortality and trauma. We have a couple teams that have kind of gone away. We've been around for 6 years, so there's been some turnover in teams. We've done, one thing we worked a lot with the Latino Health for All Coalition on was enrollment. Whenever the marketplace first came out in October of 2013, that was a very exciting project that I was involved with. We've done a lot of cool things with tobacco, working with clinics to improve their referral systems, working with people in public housing. We've done lots of things, and we're going to talk about a couple of those things today, which is neat. So that's Healthy Communities Wyandotte. It's the backbone of that is the Unified Government Health Department, and then Latino Health for All is a coalition I've been a part of. They started before Healthy Communities Wyandotte, working in the Latino community, and they work. You can see healthy eating, active living, and access to health services. Something that I think has been really unique and cool is that we have had a really great relationship. We're both health coalitions, and someone yesterday, I think, talked about how sometimes like different initiatives can kind of be like, we're the ones doing it. No, we're the ones doing it. You can have conflict and turf issues about that, but we've just gotten along really well. And I think, among other things, some of it is we just like each other, which always helps. Well, at least I don't know. I don't know if you like me, but I like you. And then the backbones are different. And so it's an interesting, the backbone of Latino Health for All is the KU Center for Community Health and Development. The backbone for Healthy Communities Wyandotte has been the Unified Government Health Department. And different profiles, different strengths, different types of organizations. So it's been a really cool feature of our relationship is that, I mean, there's things that the Center for Community Health and Development does that the health department doesn't do well. And, you know, we're a local health department, and so there's things we have that they don't have. And so it's been really cool, and it's been a great partnership. I promised Broderick I would, Broderick is on the bottom right there. He just won the LISC Thrive KCK Person of the Year thing. I'm not sure what the exact name of it is. Best person in KCK. But he's a really dynamic leader in health in Wyandotte County. And behind him, this is a picture that appeared in the Kansas City Star a couple years ago, is Jersey Creek Trail. It's not one of our projects that are profiled. Am I getting close to my time? I am? Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, so anyway, that's Jersey Creek Trail. It's a really cool interurban trail. It's unique in that it's like in an African-American area, one of the few trails we have where it's already there, which is amazing, and the leadership is provided by the African-American community as well. And then my last slide is this one, which is something I want each of the presenters to answer. I told them this, is we've talked a lot about system changes, and systems are made of people, right? Systems are controlled by people. And so one of the most important things about system changes is getting those people that control those systems to say yes when you ask them something. And sometimes it's not the first answer they give you. And so some of the projects you heard today, I've asked them to talk about, and they are going to talk about, I think, the challenges and rewards and joys and all of that about working with people and getting them to yes. So thank you. Some great projects in Wyandotte County coming up. Thank you for your time.